Good day, folks, and welcome back to Ed's Garage at Merton Hyundai. Today, we're looking at the 2022 Chevy Trailblazer. So, I haven't actually done a whole lot of reviews on Chevrolet vehicles, so I'm actually pretty excited to get a look at this and see how it compares with the Hyundai Kona. I'm not going to draw direct comparisons. I'm going to let you guys kind of do that on your own. But of course, there is multiple trim levels of the Trailblazer. This one happens to be the active model with the all-wheel drive option, and you can see it's got that really nice white roof with the black side rails. Actually really nice looking vehicle, actually. So we're going to start at the front, go to the back, look inside, etc., and kind of learn this vehicle as we go, because of course I'm used to doing Hyundai products. Anyway, starting at the front, you can see we do have projector LED headlights. It looks like reflector LED high beams. Actually, sorry, reflector high beams that are halogen. You do have LED fog lights and, of course, LED daytime running lights. So that's pretty nice. Looking at the front of the vehicle, actually, it's pretty aggressive looking, nice styling. Up in the windshield, you can see we've got a forward-facing camera. Probably for the lane guidance, lane keep assist, I would imagine. Maybe some front collision avoidance. Maybe we'll have a look at that on the inside. You do have beautiful aluminum alloy wheels. I actually really like these wheels. Surrounded by Hankook Dyna Pros, all-terrain actually. That's actually a pretty aggressive tire for a smaller vehicle. Now these ones are a 225 60 R17, so 17-inch aluminum alloy wheels. Nice white mirror caps, that's pretty cool. Looks like it does have blind spot monitoring. You got proximity entry on the door handles there. And note that the door actually does come all the way to the bottom of the rocker panel, so that's good. Coming a little further to the back, this one actually does have the twin chrome tip exhaust. It's got backup sensors, and of course we have a backup camera right here. Let's have a look in the back here. Now this vehicle hasn't actually been completely cleaned yet, so I apologize for the condition of the vehicle, but just it's freezing cold and I didn't feel like cleaning it myself. So we do have a 60/40 split rear bench. And pretty decent amount of room in here. Definitely more room than what we have in the Kona as far as the back goes. Having a look underneath, we got a spare tire, jack, and a little bit of extra storage back here as well. Now doing the all-important height test of the tailgate, pretty close. I'm 6'1.5" and I can just barely, I mean, I am hitting my head, but it's not too bad. That's actually a pretty good height on that. Nothing to complain about. All right, let's have a look at the back seat space here. So, not sure what this box is in here, but all right. So now I do have the front seat placed where I would drive, and I gotta say, that's really good room actually. It's not a hard seat back, unfortunately, but you do have seat back pockets. This side has. It's weird. The seats are different. There's something going on here. You know what? I'll bet this seat probably folds flat, so we're going to check that in a moment. And for some reason, we've got a box back here. It does have a center cup holder armrest, nice and cushy armrest. And down on the floor, you can see we've got two USB ports, USB-C and USB-A. And there's a little dead spot beside it. That's probably a provision for a 120 volt outlet, maybe in a higher trim level, because it's not opening up or anything. I think that's just a dummy spot. As for headroom, as you can see, quite a bit of headroom. Got handles on all four corners. So yeah, it's pretty good. Lots of space back here. It's actually reasonably comfortable. Now, does the seat recline at all? No, seat doesn't recline. Let's have a look, see what it looks like with the seat down. All right, so nice fold flat seat. It does line up with the floor in the back, so that's kind of convenient as well. Having a quick look at the powertrain here, we have a 1.3 liter 3-cylinder turbo. This is actually a pretty peppy little engine. Little is the operative word here. It's a very tiny engine, but you know what? I gave it a little bit of beans here, just over there in the parking lot, just for a split second, and it just took off like a rocket. So it's actually got a good amount of power, at least at the low end anyway. I haven't taken it on the road, so yeah, peppy little, city driver vehicle. Now we do have some insulation on the hood here, and it's buttoned up pretty nicely. We've got some heat shielding back here, which of course also works as sound deadening. They've covered up the sides, which is good to see on both sides. Fairly easy access to the battery, the fuse box. Well, maybe not so much the battery, actually, because there's a bunch of stuff going on here on top of the battery. That's interesting. Positive terminals, nice and covered. Looks like it's got a factory cold air intake right here, so that's cool. Yeah, other than that, windshield washer is easy to get to. Neat. All right, let's check out the front seat. So starting with the passenger side, nothing too special going on here. No height adjustment or anything. Just the backrest adjustment right here. And this is what I wanted to actually see. Yes, I think yes, it actually goes all the way down. Check that out. That's pretty cool. So a fold flat passenger side. And that, I guess, explains why those pieces are hard plastic. Although, I don't know, it's not flat, so it doesn't seem to have really much need. I guess if you're putting in something larger, it'll have some place to sit, maybe some 2x4s or whatever. And it does lock into place, so you have to actually release in order to lift that back up. I can't do that with one hand, but you get the idea. A little bit of storage here in front. But yeah, unfortunately, no height adjustment on this side. So let's check out the driver's side. All right, having a look at the driver's seat. So this one is power, and we have forwards, backwards, tilt, seat height, and of course the backrest and lower back support. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-way power adjustable seat. As far as the interior goes, I mean, it's a really nice leather interior. It's got sort of the multi-material seats, which is kind of cool. So you got some cloth here and some leather on the inside. So yeah, pretty nice looking seats actually. And some white stitching. On the door panels, you can see we got a little bit of color accent going here. Fairly padded armrest. It's a bit hard, but it's not too bad. And we do have a Bose audio system as well. Strangely, it's lacking a subwoofer. Not sure what that's all about. Anyway, let's get into the vehicle here. And as I mentioned before, this is sort of my driving position. So there's actually quite a bit of room behind me. Now, this is an all-wheel drive vehicle. I'm not sure what the capabilities of the all-wheel drive system are, to be honest, but at least it's all-wheel drive. So it's a small, compact SUV with all-wheel drive and even some all-terrain tires, which is kind of cool. So if you did want to take this on some like forest service roads or whatever, it has some basic ability for that. All right, starting on the left side. So we can see we have automatic headlights and your dimmer switch there. It does have fog lights, as I mentioned before. As for the turn signal, it looks like we have automatic high beams, which is cool. It does have the one-touch turn signal. It looks like it flashes 3 times. I don't know that there's a provision to alter how many times it flashes. On the right-hand side, of course, we do have the windshield wiper washer stock with the rear wiper access there as well. On the steering wheel itself, we have cruise control on the left side here with the steering wheel heater. So I'm actually going to try out the steering wheel heat and see how much of that it actually heats. There's our forward autonomous emergency braking system button to enable and disable that. And it looks like actually it has, check this out, I think this actually means it has adaptive cruise control as well. Wow, so that's pretty cool. I wouldn't have expected that. Now, I could be wrong. Leave a comment below if you are familiar with that system. But we'll check that in a bit here, and maybe in the settings we can figure this out. But it looks like it may have adaptive cruise, which is pretty cool at this price point. You have voice recognition, of course, with the built-in stereo there. It looks like all of the media controls are on this side. I don't know that any of this stuff is for the... Yeah, it looks like it's just... Oh, maybe not. So this is actually controlling the center screen. So unfortunately, they have kind of grouped buttons for the multimedia system as well as buttons for the center screen here. Now, on the back of the steering wheel, you can't really see it from here. Let me see if I can redirect around here. So on the back of the steering wheel, it does have buttons here for different things as well. And there's some on this side too. So this side is the volume by the looks of it. I'm actually changing the volume right now. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, so that's what I'm seeing there. And on the left side here, again, not 100% sure what those 2 buttons do. If you know what they do, please leave a comment below. All right, so as far as the heated steering wheel goes, it looks like, yeah, it's heated all the way around. That's good to see. All right, so let's check out the options on the instrument cluster screen. So it looks like we have on the bottom there our mileage, our current heading by compass, of course, so currently facing west. Got our gear over here, digital speedometer, range till empty, And then you can see this little arrow. There's basically, it's showing us that there are more menus to the right. And as you can see, I can use the buttons on the steering wheel here to go through those various menus. But we're going to start at the home screen. Now it doesn't actually, it doesn't bounce over when you hit the right button. It kind of goes to the end, and then you have to hit the left button to go back to the home screen. So we'll start at the home screen, have a quick look. There doesn't appear to be any additional menu items within the home screen. I'm scrolling up and down on the wheel here, and it's not doing anything. So if I hit the right arrow button, it takes me into the trip 1. And if I scroll down, I got trip 2, fuel information, oil life, tire pressure monitor, air filter life. So that is the engine air filter life. The average speed, follow distance, interesting, and then driver assistance info screen. So that'll be the lane keep assist and whatnot. So if I roll all the way down, it does give me the option to edit that screen. And it does actually bounce up to the speed again here, which is interesting. So you can actually see the instrument or the digital speed on multiple menus. Interesting. So I'm going to hit OK to get into here so I can select everything. And I think everything's already selected. Oh, there's fuel economy. So let's turn that on. So to access these things, basically, I'm just pressing in on the scroll wheel. So top consumers, let's see what that is. Economy trend, sure, eco index, and then hitting exit to go out. And if I go back up now, there we go. There's the eco index. That's just how fuel efficiently you're driving. There's the trend over the last, I guess X amount of days, I suppose. And you can reset this by holding that little scroll wheel down. So we're going to hold that down, and then boom, it resets. And same goes for all the other stuff. This is pretty cool. So top consumers, you want to see how many, look at this, liters per hour of fuel. So the air conditioning and the front fog lights together are using, that's pretty neat. They're using 0.18 liters per hour of running. That's cool, eh? Let's go into the menu here. What does that do? Okay, so looks like I can break this down perhaps. Oh no, I can't really do anything here. Okay, I'm going to exit out of here, and we'll go up to the next thing. There's a driver assistance. We saw that already, follow distance. We can reset the average speed here. We can reset the fuel economy. Maybe not. Okay. Oh, but it does give me, I see, it does give me a menu. So I can go into that menu now by pressing on the scroll wheel again. So if we press on that, we can reset the best score. We can go to distance. Let's see what distance. Okay, so this is over the last X amount of kilometers. And then let's reset the best score. There we go. So that kind of set everything back to normal. Interesting. So there's a lot of fuel-mising things here. It's pretty cool. Okay, reset our oil life there. Instant range. Let's reset the trip computers as well. Boom. Boom. All right, and then it goes back to speed. Interesting. All right, so let's bounce over to the right for the next screen. So this is just basically the music that's currently playing. And I can't scroll through this because there's no devices found. So I guess that's the last song that was played on the radio via Bluetooth probably. But I'm going to hit the scroll wheel OK button here and enter into the menu. And then I can actually choose radio media. Okay, cool. So let's put it on FM. Oop, there we go. So yeah, so you can actually control the stereo from these buttons as well, which, yeah, that's cool, I guess. It's a little bit confusing, though. All right, let's bounce over to the right here, and it shows us our compass again. So if I hit the OK button and go into menu, I can go to recent destinations. That's cool. Or I can go to my favorites in the navigation. Now, navigation, I don't see it on the screen here yet, but I haven't really played with this at all. Highway?
Welcome to Sirius XM. It's all you'll ever need to hear everything you want.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so I'm not seeing, maybe that's it. That's the navigation, I guess. Chevrolet maps. Maps will be updated. Sure. Okay, cool. While that's happening, we'll continue looking on in this menu here. All right, so we got the phone menu, of course, where we can probably, quickly access our contacts and whatnot. I'm not going to hook up my phone to that, so use your imagination. So now we're in the settings for this screen. So I can go to units. I can put it in US. Cool. I can go to info page options. So this is what we were looking at before, basically having the ability to enable and disable different things within the info screen. Homepage options. Currently I just have the speedometer and the full range. So I can also put the time that the vehicle was running. So we'll do that. Software information just shows us what current software is installed on the vehicle. Let's see if we can exit out of here somehow. Looks like I just have to hit the back button. Okay, there we go. And that's pretty much it. So that is the instrument cluster in a nutshell. All right, so before we get to this stereo, let's see what sort of other things we can do here. So this doesn't... Oh, there we go. I was going to say it doesn't appear to want to open. Looks like I got a little tray in here and reasonable deep spot. That's not very big. That's okay. It's a smaller car. A little more storage there, a couple of cup holders, a spot to slide a cell phone. But check this out. There is a wireless cell phone charger down here. And of course you have one other USB-C port, the SD card slot, so you can put music on an SD card, I guess. USB port there is presumably for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, or that one is, or they both are. You got the cigarette lighter jack. You've got the auxiliary port there for an older multimedia device. The buttons right here, I'll go over a couple of these things here. So you got your auto start stop, so that basically stops the vehicle from shutting off when you get to a stop line. Here's your lane guidance, your lane keep assist, so you can turn that on and off. Your traction and stability control. I think this is probably a sport mode, would be my guess. I don't see any indications of what it is, but when you press it, it does put the little checkered flag on the bottom of the instrument cluster there. It's got to be a sport mode. You got the all-wheel drive option here. You can enable or disable all-wheel drive. It's cool. So if you want to save some fuel, put it in two-wheel drive, and then you'll see right here it says two-wheel drive right now. And that's pretty much it for this area. You got automatic climate control. So this vehicle is equipped with automatic climate control. It's nice to see. So there's your knob for your temperature, your knob for your fan speed, your recirculate option there, your front and rear defrost. And then, of course, 3-level seat heaters on both of the front seats. All right, skipping the center screen for a moment, let's look at the mirror. Now, it is an auto-dimming rear-view mirror, which is nice. And then a little bit above that, you've got your OnStar controls here, so call for roadside assistance, OnStar assistance. That's things like navigation assistance and stuff like that. And then you've got your SOS button for emergency assistance. You got a couple of lights up here, control over all the interior lights, of course. Let's see if the side visors slide out. Now, they do have mirrors and lights, which is good. Side visor slides, excellent. Nice black headliner. I think all cars should have black headliners. And that one slides as well. Cool. All right, so let's have a look at this screen. It looks like about an 8-inch screen. We have a backup camera, of course, and I've got to say, extremely good resolution on that camera. Check that out. You have nice dynamic steering lines as well. Let's see, we got an option here. Oh, we can enable and disable the dynamic steering lines. And I think when you put it in drive, yeah, it does stay on for a bit. That might be a setting that can be enabled and disabled. But let's start at the home screen. So I'm going to press the home button. And we'll start on the far left. So it looks like we sort of a general screen here with your stereo here and some phone options when connected over there. Quick access to choose a radio preset up on the top. And then, of course, some of the icons to access sort of the most common things. So you get your home button, which is probably the same as this one. This will take you into your radio, of course, your phone menu, navigation. And let's see what this one does. Okay, cool. So you have all of the access for the climate control right on the screen. So you can either use this one down here, or you can get a big sort of overall layout of the climate control there as well. I'm going to hit the navigation button here and see what comes up, because I think this may require OnStar. Yeah, it's not giving me really anything here. It's just saying OnStar Advisor. Now, when you tap that, of course, it calls OnStar. So if you want to navigate, right now you got to use OnStar, or presumably, well, not presumably, or you can definitely use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as you can see. Now, the vehicle does have a wireless hotspot. I should probably delete those phones. It does have a wireless hotspot, so maybe it works with wireless CarPlay in Android Auto. I'm not 100% sure. Have to check that. Sorry for my jacket noise, guys. It is quite cold out, so if you hear a lot of this, that's my bad. I'll try to avoid it from now on. You have multiple users that you can choose and set up in there as well. And then we have our apps section. So let's bring that up real quick. Pretty cool. So you have Amazon Alexa that you can install from here and, of course, link up with your Amazon account. And then some of these other apps are things that you normally would see on a phone, which is kind of cool. So the Weather Channel, and then your My App section is stuff that's already installed. Now, I did go to the Maps application earlier, and it just kind of takes me to Maps General Tools. So I'm not sure exactly how to use the maps in here. All right, I've gone ahead and taken my jacket off, so you don't have to hear that crazy fabric over fabric noise. I apologize. So guys, maybe you can help me out with this. I see all this stuff about maps on the screen and like Chevrolet Maps Plus. I have no idea what that is. I just know that when I go to open it, it wants to update. And the update seems to be just taking forever. So I don't see an option to just ignore it and not update it and just proceed. So does it have maps built in? Does it not? I have no idea. But I'm going to move on. We'll skip past that. Not everybody needs built-in maps when you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto anyway. So as far as the other stuff on the screen, first of all, I will say the screen layout is super simple. It's very, very responsive. Which is nice, and it's super clear, very high resolution. This, in contrast with a lot of other companies, I'd say the screen is phenomenal, and the interface is very, very good. So, as far as other applications on here, you got Spotify, SiriusXM, of course, My Chevrolet, which of course is the OnStar system, the Chevrolet telematics system has sort of combined the two things together, and you can see when we open it up, you can see scheduling, servicing, manage the actual My Chevrolet plan, roadside assistance, a bunch of other stuff from there as well. So that's cool. I like the fact that you can do something with Amazon Alexa built right in. That's pretty cool. Of course, when you have Android Auto connected, you can use the Android Assistant. And of course, when CarPlay is connected, you can use Siri. So lots of functionality in there. But that's pretty much it, with the exception of the settings screen. So that's where we're going to go next. So we'll go into settings here. And I'll show you what we can do within settings. So obviously, we can set our time and date, language, phones. So that's where you connect up phones, that sort of thing. Here's where you can connect up to Wi-Fi networks. You can enable a Wi-Fi hotspot. You can change your privacy settings, of course. Device remote access. So allowed devices can interact with the vehicle features and access data. So that's all from there. That's pretty cool. Display is where you can basically adjust the display settings for day or night mode or automatic. I could turn it off from there as well. I just lost it now. Let's go into voice here. So you can have either a more complicated or less complicated voice system by confirming your prompts more or less. Automatic prompt length, interesting. So audio feedback speed, I'm not sure exactly what that is. Allow prompt interruption. So that basically means that if you don't want to wait for the voice prompt to stop talking, you can just start talking and it'll stop and listen to you. Friendly prompt automatic, and then tutorial mode. So yeah, lots of configuration for the voice system there. Interesting. In the favorites, we can actually, right from here, we can change the audio favorites, phone favorites, navigation, destination favorites. So this must have navigation, because I keep seeing navigation in maps. Updates. So it is currently checking for updates. We'll leave that. So that's where you can do some updates to the system. Running applications and return to factory settings. Now, if I go into apps here, you can see we got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, the various different apps that come with the car. I can go to climate and change the automatic fan speed. So that's kind of cool. So one of the things that I like about Hyundai's is that the auto button itself has multiple options for the aggressiveness of the automatic system. This one does as well, but you do need to go into the screen here and adjust it manually from there. It's got auto defrost, auto rear defog. Sorry, I'm going to get back into that actually. Auto rear defog is awesome. That's something we don't have in our vehicles, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's go over to the vehicle. So rear seat reminder. So anytime the rear door is opened up while the vehicle is running, when you shut the vehicle off, you'll get a reminder to check your rear seats. Climate and air quality. You can see there's our auto fan speed again. So it's basically the same setting a second time. Collision detection system. So let's see what we got here. So we got forward Collision system is alert and brake. And front pedestrian detection, alert and brake, fantastic. Adaptive cruise go notifier. Let's turn that on. So basically what that means is if you're at a stop and the car in front of you starts to drive off, if you've been there long enough, this car won't move. It'll just wait for you to tap the gas to get it going again. But if you still don't, basically it'll give you a little notification. Change lane alert, so that's using the rear cross traffic and blind spot monitoring sensors. Rear camera park assist symbols. That's interesting. So the rear backup sensors, I guess when you're backing up, you'll get the little audible and also a visual as you're getting closer to those objects. And then, of course, rear cross traffic alert. If anybody's passing behind you with a car or pedestrian, before they're even behind you, you'll get a cross traffic alert. So that's nice. Okay, so comfort and convenience. Let's have a look at there. So you can change the chime volumes. Cool. Auto wipe in reverse gear. So as long as the front wipers are on, the auto rear wiper will come on as well when you're in reverse. Cool. Lighting. So we have locator lights. So that's just when you hit the lock or unlock button on your car, they light up for 30 seconds. Teen driver mode. So if you want to lock out your teen and give them sort of restricted access to the vehicle, same sort of thing for valet mode. All right, so that is pretty much it for that stereo. There is some other options that can't be accessed until you set up the vehicle for your user profile. So things like personal options and whatnot. I did actually find out that it does indeed have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I wish I could show you the nav system, but yeah, it's for whatever reason, it's just not wanting to do anything. It just, yeah, it either wants me to update or cancel. So I don't even know if it has true nav, but it must, because it's got a My Maps icon and a Chevrolet Maps icon and some nav settings and whatnot. So whether it's through OnStar or built into the system, I'm not 100% clear on that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think this is going to be a handy video for somebody. So if you've gotten this far, thank you so much for supporting my channel. And if you like the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And have a wonderful Merry Christmas. Thank you again. Have a great day.